of branches, and but
Stop
he's
saying
always strong, right? Anyways,
Oh, whoa.
God damn it, Cludish.
Sorry, it's my indigestion.
anyways, I want to give a
Next
quick
time, do it in the
shout out
bathroom.
to all the FTOing because I know it's a hard job, especially dealing with the cadets.
Hey,
you
policing's a hard job.
Correct. I want to give a special shout out to the Mabel, to the Ruby, to the Slag, and to the one tree who is mean to me sometimes. He's yelling at me, but hey, you know
Deserved.
what? It comes from good place.
To be fair.
And
Thank you. Mostly
yeah, of
hate
course.
is where it comes from.
And,
McNulty's always yelling at me.
I'm not. I am. I am not.
He's all
And,
talk, but deep inside he's a
good
personal
catch,
softie.
sir.
statement
Good catch.
to close out this speech. Beef shawarma is better. All right. Thank you very much.
Agreed.
Okay.
Thank you very
Agreed.
much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's chicken.
It's
Chicken shawarma is beta to the alpha that is
Well,
beef
then I
shawarma.
guess I'm a beta and I get the title of bottom because I like fucking chicken.
Yeah, of course you are. Fucking Ziggs is definitely the top.
And also,
Who said
Jesus.
falafel? Who
Couple
said
more-
falafel?
couple more things.
I
One of
suggest
which
that points for that person.
There's something on that.
there are 24 people in this room, Abu, and you said brothers and sisters. That's 24 times adoption fraud.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
How do you play?
Brothers and sisters don't apply to
Guilty.
that charge.
They do actually.
They do.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who's related?
Well, someone said from back there that they do the shambuli with their sister.
I'm
legally married to my sister, and I
Let's-
put my penis in her vagina frequently.
All right, arrest that man, please.
All right.
Permission
Hey,
for
well-
arresting.
Okay,
Abu,
well, I
here's-
think
here's
that's
what I'm
enough
gonna
do.
Lenny
Incest is not
Hawk for me
illegal.
today.
I'm
Wait,
gonna
incest
use
is
my
not illegal?
I'm gonna use my officer discretion
No.
here, and I'm not gonna charge
I'm
you.
not-
Okay, there's gonna be a warning for
me the law
$14
that's
million
illegal.
or whatever that was.
How come it's not coming up? I tried to put a thing up there.
Oh, you got to change it.
So she
Did
said,
you
Guys,
do the
let's all
fix?
go out on patrol and catch some criminals. Let's catch some fucking
Inshallah.
criminals.
Inshallah.
Quickly, if anybody wants to talk, privately after, we'll be
Captain's
available.
I will,
office.
I
It's
will
the captain's
also
office.
not be
But first-
patrolling.
How do you fix it?
We're gonna be up in the captain's office.
But
I'll be the
first,
senior office.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge
Texas
allegiance
flag,
to
I
the
pledge allegiance.
Texas.
Pray
Look at all these fucking communists. I am taking names down.
with
Amen.
amening.
What?
Nothing.
You have to get lucky.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of random, but I've had the most luck on Route 68. I'm gonna be honest. When we see these,
Do the captains want us up at the captain's office too?
I don't know, but I'm gonna go up there anyway.
Kind of in the same boat. We're gonna walk in and be like, all right, captain meeting over. You're coming with us to the.
I
You're
don't know how
coming.
you feel, but that ended well, but it did not start.
It
well.
went
It-
as
for the
I
most
expected it
part.
to. Also, just for the record, I am shocked at the responses regarding Rhodes' hypothetical because I too would ask questions later.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you.
Howdy, captains.
Oh, good night.
Howdy.
You had said people come up to the captain's office. Did you want all of us here, or did you? Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be up to. I mean, maybe that's a little too much. I don't know. It's up to anyone who wants to talk.
If anybody wants to come in and tell us to get the hell out, I have no problem. If it's for the intent of obviously.
At the same time, I doubt they're gonna tell you to get the hell out.
Well-
I don't think they'll even come up here if they're present.
I'll
You
just tell them. I'll just be like, hey, if you want to just keep it consolidated, and as long as you guys are cool with that, with captains talking to officers, and it's not a skip a chain of command, I have no problem stepping out.
I'll put my number in 311 so people can contact me directly on case.
shit. Sorry.
No, you're all good. Whoop.
So I do have like a general question
Bae.
about that
Bye. Good
whole
night.
thing.
Go for it.
Was this like the initial plan with this to do it in front of everybody, or like was it just something that was randomly decided?
I mean, this is something we spoke about to several people wanted and asked.
Yeah.
Or
But
an
I mean,
open forum.
but okay, yeah, like an anonymous thing to answer questions, yeah. But I'm talking about in front of people, in front of like the entire meeting.
Yeah, I mean,
Because-
we wanted to open the dialogue in the meeting settings, and if people want to have more private questions they want to ask, and ask afterwards.
Okay.
I think what ultimately we're trying to do is try to get people to open up to us. Talk.
And have
whether
a
that
less
be-
tension between everybody else. Like you saw how the meeting
Right.
kind of ended, right? It was more.
Well, at the end, it was great,
right?
But you know,
Give me one second.
it,
Sorry,
it was like, but that whole thing was like it was like the Patriots and Falcons Super Bowl. It was, you know, the first 3 quarters down was it was ridiculous. It was bad.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people are going to have the same questions, and some people will, and some people won't ask them, right? And I'm sure a lot of people didn't ask questions that they had, which is why we had the anonymous aspect to it, that people could ask and we could address openly. If
That
people want
fucking
to bring something
train.
to us, we want to make it clear that it can be brought to us as well. It can be brought to seniors. It can be brought to captains. I think we're in a volatile state right now. That, again, we want people bringing things to us so we can start addressing them. We need to be able to address them, and that's what we're trying to do: is open up that line of communication.
I could even maybe expand on this because initially, at face value, Barrick, I would sort of actually agree with you to sort of the vision of it. But I think since this was kind of the first of what I would hope to be potentially many, I think the big benefit here is I was expecting it. I even said to you guys before we walked in, this was going to be very interesting and there was going to be a lot of tension. But I think the idea of opening up the floor to that conversation, not only one, allows people to sort of give their sides, but two, I think it also will later down the road break that tension, knowing that is open, right? I think going into this, it was to be expected and assumed that it was going to be kind of tight tension based on how a lot of people sort of foresee and are worried about bringing things forward. I would hope that even if the tension was tight in the room, if 1 or 2 officers took that as personal benefit to say, okay, I'm not as nervous to come forward now, even if 1 or 2 people have that opinion, I think the panel could be viewed as more of a success, if anything. I personally didn't have much of an issue talking and answering questions. I could see why it was definitely perceived that way. And again, Barrick, I actually would agree with you for the most part. But I would hope that the return of that was that more people are willing to speak up and come with examples and have a little bit of a better understanding as to how we can help them if they have a problem.
Mm.
I mean, it's one of the ways we can try to get people to open up and bring things forward. It's not the only way. It's just one of the ways that I think we're trying out. You know, what is your feedback on that, Barrick? How could we have maybe did it a bit better?
Just not done it in front of people. Like, I understand, like, talking to people one-on-one is much more time consuming and to a certain degree might not be feasible, but it's how you're going to get the most critical and real information instead of like somebody having to essentially sit in a chair and like spout their problems, which might include something to do with superiors in front of like 6 superiors up in front of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's fair. That may not be the atmosphere for questions like that for sure.
Yeah. Because like the question that you did ask, like the person that asked that could very well have been in that room,
right?
But is never, at like 99 times out of 100, going to speak up and say like, yeah, I asked
Absolutely.
this question in that kind of circumstance.
But I don't have a way to respond to it either. So how would we address that in the future? Say we need more information on it. Say, I'd like to hear more about it. How do we get it out there that we want to hear more about that question? Once the anonymous question has been posed.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be...
It's a good question.
Wouldn't that be doing what we did was, hey, this was a question that was asked. That is a problem. It does concern us. We want to hear more about it, whether it be through the anonymous route or whether it be, privately.
You could probably pose the question during a meeting and or something along those lines, and simply state that you don't know who it came from and ask that they either follow up or speak to you in private to further elaborate. Which is basically, which to a certain extent is what you did.
Sorry about that.
Which to a large extent is basically what you did here today anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm open to making it better. We're trying to... I don't like the idea of people being afraid to bring things up. I do want things to go through command, but I understand, or through chain of command, but I understand.
Yeah.
Going directly to the source at times is going to get things fixed quicker. To get things fixed directly, we can address it right away. I can give opinions on it, maybe to rest their worries, or to let them know that it's being looked directly into. I don't want that to always be the case. I do want things to go through chain of command, but as of right now, I think we gotta do what we can to head off what we have in front of us. Try to settle things down a little bit. I think there is a lot going on. Whether it's being brought up or not, there is definitely a lot going on. The tensions in the air, the air is thick, and I want to do my best to the best of my ability, at least, to address that and try to.
Yeah, I think it's very, 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 very good that you're acknowledging it, and it's definitely taking steps in the right direction, at least in my opinion.
I will also make note with that panel. Anything done the first time is going to have its flaws. Your first traffic stop is worse than the one you're doing now, right? I think there's a time and place, and I think that time and place was a healthy one to have a productive conversation. Maybe somebody heard someone say something that sparked another question. Stuff like that, I think is good. I do think that the addressment at the beginning to state, if you want to talk after in private, that is on the floor, and I think that at least lets people know that this doesn't have to be the environment that your question gets asked, but it can happen.
You did do that, right?
You did? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I didn't somehow miss that.
No, definitely. And I even made note that any seniors around, especially in shift 3, I made very clear to people, if it's about another officer, as long as you're willing to have an adult conversation with them and come to the conclusion, and if you're failing to, then include me, then great. But outside of that, I have no problems taking a question from anybody if they have some concern. I want to help address issues. I've been trying. I feel like that's been one of my bigger suits as a senior. I have spent a little less time patrolling, and I've spent a little bit more time on the individual. And I've even called people and said, hey, how are things going on duty? How do you feel things are going on duty? And just getting feedback. And what I've told the Slacks, and I believe I said to you as well, is usually feedback when you get it from somebody is not, oh, things are great, I love everything, here's what's going great. It's always going to be something on their mind that they want to bring up, and that's fine. And I think that allows people to have an opportunity to, even if it's to just vent, to ask them and say, hey, what specifically happened in this situation? And getting specifics, I think, is going to add the value to what they're looking for. And I also made the point in front of everybody, because I do think it's important. Not every situation is PD wide. Sometimes there's a situation somebody thinks everything's gone to shit, when reality is it was one situation that went ass up, and now we need to address it. And I think just surveying how big of a situation we're dealing with, I do think helps us tackle things, and usually the smaller ones can be handled a lot more individualized.
Yeah, I think McNulty said it really well. I couldn't have said it any better in terms of go to the source. Don't fester around and start spreading it, and it goes through this chain of telephone where things start getting slightly changed between each person. And just going directly to the source, talking to the source, talking to that person. If there's a problem, bring it through the chain of command.
Absolutely.
I do agree that in a perfect world that is the case, that you would prefer everybody to act like adults and go and speak to people, one-on-one, kind of hash their differences out and go about everything peacefully. But as I'm sure we all can agree, that is
Not always
somewhat
the case.
that is more oftentimes than not a pipe dream that everybody will be like that. A lot of it is going to be very high schoolish to an extent. I think everybody will be guilty of that at some point to some extent. And how to properly combat that is a great question. I do not at this exact moment have the answer to.
Right.
One reason. But
I think McNulty also summed that up well as well. That if somebody wants a mediator or something, that's always there. And I do think confrontation is obviously always going to be terrifying to most people, right? It is a thing. Some people deal with it maybe worse than others, and I think the reality of the situation is, I think publicly in a room of people, letting them know that they have options to address those issues is always good too. So
Forte.
Yeah.
Hello?
I didn't want to walk in if you guys were busy.
I thought I heard someone knock. No, you're good.
I didn't hear him at all. Come on in.
Hello.
Right now it's just us. Did you want Captain Slacks here as well? I'm not sure where he walked off to here.
No, it's okay. I just have a couple questions.
I think he's outside. Judging by the GPS.
Okay.
There was a mention of a new, what was it? It was like officer personnel, community position. It just piqued my curiosity, and there wasn't much explained. I just want to ask if there's any
Public
more
information
detail on
officer?
that. Yeah.
That is something that we've talked about. Essentially, they'd be in charge of informing the public about situations, whether it be through press conferences, through press releases, Twitter presence, presence, putting informational twats out,
Okay.
I don't know, small tips and tricks, or something along those lines. It'd be along the that'd be the position, right?
Was that brought up today?
It was yeah.
Okay,
It caught my ear, and I was like, oh, that's something But is that going to be like a senior thing, or?
I believe we said it was going to be a senior position, a senior plus position.
So this person would essentially brief the public on everything.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So this person would essentially brief the public on everything?
Not everything, but on accomplishments, or major cases which we've made arrests on, or
positive news, basically.
Well, positive news, also things to keep a lookout for, that we can use a public's help. Hey, this is something we're combating a lot of. These are ways we're combating it. If you see anything, call us, let us know. Twatter, maybe small, LSPD, life hack of the day, or who knows, something to communicate and exist amongst the public, right? We want them to know we're here, and we are here to help them.
Fair enough. That piqued my curiosity because I know my public image is more positive than negative, and people tend to enjoy speaking to me, or they pretty openly speak to me. So I think that it might be something I might be interested in down the line.
Okay, I think that's that is definitely on the list here to put into play. I mean, we do need one. We've talked about it since before. We opened the front doors. We want a public information officer.
I could. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Go for it. No, go for it.
I do have a suggestion for that role. Maybe something to keep in mind. Maybe this is just the way that I view it.
Absolutely.
I think in a position like that, you also need to bear in mind, like Forte, you said, public image. I think a lot of people who have spent time off duty as well get a different perspective of this city than
100%.
just for example, somebody who is on duty and only to be here to be on duty, right? Which is okay if you're here to work for your job and you're here to work as a police officer. I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. I think you can still have a public image in that regard. But if people only know you as just for an example, and there's nothing wrong with this, but if everybody only knows you as, let's say, Captain Turner, people are only going to view you as Captain Turner. Whereas, for example, let's say Forte is off duty, and somebody sees Forte, let's say on duty, they know him as Officer Forte, but off duty they know them. They know Forte as Santino Forte, and I think
The music guy, yeah.
you essentially open up the floor to a different perspective on an individual. And I think if the motto that you would be going with is someone who could have a good perception of the PD, but also have a good perception with the public, I don't think that I would make note that maybe somebody who does spend a little bit of time off duty or has that different perspective would add a lot of value to that role.
I've been off duty a whole hell of a lot, and I agree with that statement because I've been trying to get my record label up and running, and that's caught me a lot of connections with a lot of people.
What's up, Chad? How we doing?
And seeing it from that angle is so different.
There's so much going on right now. I'm very tired.
And I could also use the record label maybe for that benefit, but
Well, when we do end up announcing the position, as it is in our SOPs, it's one of the certs I believe we have, which is PIO. That will definitely be taken into consideration for interviews. I don't foresee us having more than 2 in a department, possibly 3, 1 per shift, potentially. Right? We're not looking for a wide array of people, and there will definitely be interviews that are going to be taking place for it. And it might be something that has a term per se to it, where
sorry, today's been a very today
Gotcha.
hasn't been a very intense day, which honestly
I don't want to jump the
needed.
horse with anything because obviously it's probably going to be a trusted individual, so a senior or equal lateral to that, so I still got time.
Yeah, I think I believe we talked about it. We agreed that a senior was a good position for that, because they're also going to have to be in front of all the cameras, whatever news media's outlets show up, and then during a press conference, do a presentation, whatever the case may be, whether it be a slideshow, whether it be a single picture that you got to explain, whether you have actual questions that are being
Been good
asked,
though. I just feel bad. I haven't really had a chance to talk to Chad all that much today. I started the day off with role play, and it's just been this,
properly
this
as well,
regard.
right? You know what I mean? By political speech per se,
Be careful with the wording.
right? Things get taken out of context pretty quickly with improper wording.
Absolutely.
So it's again something that's going to be something we're going to try, see how it goes. Probably start off with 1, see how that goes, and as we refine some basic SOPs around it, which shouldn't need too much. Grow off of it.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, if I had a time frame on it, though, I would expect 2 to 4 weeks or something like that at minimum.
Fair enough.
Because we do have some sergeant promotions coming up soon enough.
Good.
And a lot going on in the department. So
Yeah, shift 3 has been, as you said in the meeting, tight ship. We run it pretty well, I believe, and at least I do my part or try to do my best, and it's always a good time. So
I don't think shift 3 has any serious issues at all. I mean, I think some things pop up from time to time, but I don't think it's reoccurring issues. To my knowledge.
Yeah.
And I also think, like I said, numbers. Yeah. But that's across the entire department. It's not one. I'd say retention as well.
Yeah, that's what I try to bring up was the retention, because personally from my cadet class, I don't see a whole lot of too many of my fellow class around much.
You're in the first or second class, I recall.
I'm the first, sir.
First class, okay. There's 5 of 9 that are still around. Is that right?
I've only seen Lucas.
I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a blank as to who's in the first class. I know you, Lucas, and to be honest with you, I'm drawing a little bit of a fucking brain fart myself because
Desmond Troy, Cloverfields,
Desmond, Clover,
Brickson.
I saw Brick yesterday. I did see Brick yesterday. He's been coming around again. That's right.
Those are it's Lawson.
Lawson was the last one, yeah.
Yeah, he took
Brickson,
a leave.
Santino Forte, Cloverfields, and Desmond Troy. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 still active from Shift 1 Academy. And by active, I mean still on the roster. Have any of you seen? How often has Fields been around? I've seen Fields a handful of times. She's somewhat active, right?
Clover. Yeah.
Like part-time.
Okay.
I know.
Part-time for sure.
Yeah, I know. Especially since the recent case that was on the docket. I know. I can't really attest to it. I do believe there was a little bit of a slowdown, and I know that Desmond also came to me, and I put it in the our email chain, but he was gonna have to slow down his role a little bit with his time on duty, but he plans on being around once or twice a week.
Was there a time frame for that?
I asked him, and he said, unfortunately, it's currently the foreseeable, but he's hoping that it's resolved soon.
Okay, that's right. As long as there's communication that's kept up, we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna remove somebody as long as they're trying to get on duty from time to time and keeping the communication up. I think the big thing. Where's McMahon been? I haven't seen McMahon.
Liam
does. He does like a thing where he like works a week and then he's off for a week. It feels like I say when he's around. Like he is a presence for sure.
Right. McMahon's great. He's also good for morale.
He's great. He's wonderful. I'd consider him. Like,
I don't have any
honestly,
issues
one of my good friends,
with McMahon in any way, shape, or form. Just wonder why he's not on duty.
Him and me are in pretty good connection, I'd say. So I can give him a poke. See what's going on.
All that, all that VR
works.
chat.
What do you? No, we're not. No. No. With all due respect, Senior Officer Flop, not in front of Turner, please.
What is this you're talking about?
No. Please, I'm trying to be so serious right now.
I'll ask one question, Captain Turner, and then we'll move on from it.
I said, and I quote, "No, Flop, please."
Have you ever heard?
No, wait, please.
Forte, it's fine.
But no, it's not. I said specifically not to ask Turner.
More so, I want to hear it now.
Please.
Not in order, but I'd like to hear it.
It's okay. Captain Turner, have you ever heard of something called VR chat?
Oh God.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's probably for the best.
All right. That's all I'll say on that. If you're locking in some more serious conversation, I was just
VR chat then.
I was looking to break the ice.
Just real quick, before we answer that very enticing question, which I'm very excited to hear the answers to, are you good if Cornwood rides with Declan and Lenny, since he's only gonna be around for like the next 30 minutes or so?
Do we have too many officers on duty?
We do not.
Would you make the exception there?
Given it's the amount of time and he's just coming to the end of his shift, I'd rather them be out on patrol than stand somewhere and just be in each other's company. So yeah, I would make the exception. Yes.
All right. Make the exception.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh my God, he's gonna make.
Just make sure that's not an automatic clearance every single time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I also want to come up here. If you guys have any questions from me, from my perspective of things, just anything at all.
I'm sorry.
Whoops, sorry.
Can you just clarify that question one more time for me? I apologize.
Oh no, you're good. Just from my perspective, if you guys had any questions for me, in regards to anything from my I guess POV of things, I'm open to
I do have a
answering
question.
anything. Yeah, yes, sir.
Why do you think our retention is low?
That's a good question.
Good question that you should answer honestly, because nobody here is going to hold it against you.
Retention?
Correct.
Or are we talking about like cadets?
And that is generally same.
Yeah.
I'm asking you in terms of the question
Mm-hmm.
that you posed. What do you see being the problem from your point of view?
One, FTO burnout. You can't avoid it. It's going to happen. But with FTOs that we have on shift 3 in particular, those FTOs are also taking on a lot of other things currently. And FTOing in general is falling, it's tough. It's tough to do everything. And I think that's a big thing. I can't blame anybody for that, because in my old precinct, I know what FTO burnout feels like. It doesn't feel good. You have that weird, kind of guilt of, I'm avoiding a cadet because I really can't do it today. I get it. But I think that's a major thing.
I agree,
think,
for the record as well.
Yeah.
That's a very big issue.
And I've expressed that. I think I expressed to Alice in particular. I said one of my goals is to help with that slack eventually, if given the opportunity, of course. FTO and all that, get training and up and running. I think just training in general. But yeah, retention. I think morale just in general, because shift 3 can fall pretty flat at times, and it gets pretty lonely at times because we need to be in separate vehicles most of the time because there's a hot 5 or 6 of us.
Sure, that's doubling a fair number.
Yeah. But the 6 of us do the job of 12. Well, I would say we're all very, very, very damn fine officers from head to toe, and we all know how to do our job. And if we don't know how to do it, if we don't know how to do something, we're all very helpful with each other, and that's why I love shift 3. There is no judgment. There is no, oh my god, I can't believe he didn't do that pursuit. No. It's a very tight-knit group, and it's a very tight-knit family.
You don't believe there's any judgment at all?
I feel like there's judgment when there needs to be.
You're
in the
saying,
right places.
To clarify, when there is judgment, do you feel like that judgment is being addressed?
Absolutely. I mean, I deserve the DAP for my paperwork. Like, I have been dapped, like, because I was slacking on my paperwork. I was warned about it once, and slacked a little bit, got caught. I didn't even recognize it. Absolutely, I deserve that. 100%. I feel like that's you know what? Like, I was warned about it. I tried to fix it, didn't fix it right. Fair enough, I don't feel like there's judgment from shift 3 to shift 3 officers at all. I feel like we all understand each other's perspectives pretty well. We all listen to each other pretty well. And if there's any concern, I know, like, if I had a problem with Flop, I could just be like, Flop, can you help me explain? Like, why did you do this the way you did? And then we'll have a good conversation about it.
See you later.
Same with Barrick, same with Alice, same with everybody. The problems I've had personally, just speaking openly, is I've been clocking off very tactically as of recently to avoid altercations with shift 1. Because they don't know how I police. They don't know me. So I've just been, keep my head down, keep my nose out of it currently.
I'm very interested
But that's
to hear
where
Tori's perspective on that.
Personally have been calling my time was, shift 1 to shift 3, I'm going to go off duty. And, go interact with the public, go do something else. But that's where I believe my problems arise. Personally, and with the perspective of shift 3 into shift 1, I feel like a lot of shift 1 doesn't understand how shift 3 places and how the shift 3 is a different beast. It's the island, right? So
every shift has their own culture due to
the
population they deal with. Sure, yeah, that's something I'd love to minimize. To be honest with you,
I agree.
I wish we could be uniform across all shifts, respond to situations, with uniformity. I'll be, dealing with situations with uniformity. Just unfortunately, each shift has their own situations and culture that they deal with. Now, does that mean?
I'm sorry. Is it snowing outside?
It should be held against someone when the culture is different. No, I think there are proper ways to go about talking to people and sorting things out from that are out of shift per se. But
when did it get so fucking cold?
I do
thought
believe
I
truly
thought it was done.
Everyone can grow by being in other shifts.
I totally
don't
agree.
think it's one side. I'm not saying Barrett can't grow by being in shift 1 and Flop can't grow by being in shift 2 and you can't grow by being 1. I can't grow by being in 2 or 1. Everyone can grow by being in a different shift, and I think talking is very important. Something I do want to ask you is, what are the issues that are being presented to you that's making you not want to be around during shift 1, and who is it?
Damn.
Once again, this is a safe space. You will not be judged for whatever your answer is and how truthful it is.
I'll just rip the Band-Aid off too. The root of the problem comes with examples. The more honest you are, the easier we can try and figure sort of the root cause, right?
And if you think it's a big bad wolf, like it's somebody above the rank of officer, you need to say that.
Can't be addressed properly if it's not explained properly.
Exactly.
I know. I just don't like.
And I know how you feel. I know how you feel. But I promise you, just sitting by and being quiet, as I did for so long, it is not the way.
That's what I've been doing.
Now,
trying to.
Now's your chance.
It's hard to say what you mean and say what you're thinking, but you need to.
Someone once told me having awkward, tough conversations is hard, but we all need to get used to doing it. And that actually stuck with me for a bit. I heard it recently, and I think that's very true.
What was it again?
Eric, what was it?
He's testing him.
We as people need to get more comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations.
That's the verbiage I was looking for. And I heard it from Barrick. And I like that. I like that saying because it's true. We do need to be comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. There's a way to go about things, and this is the way to go about addressing
Barrick
things
is going to be a fucking sergeant.
Right? There are ways not to go about things. But this is one of them too. This is how you do go about it. I'm asking for your honest opinion here. I want to fix the issue. I want to address the issue. It doesn't necessarily always mean that it's always going to get fixed right away, or it's going to be fixed the way you want it. But I need to know it's there. I need to see it to be able to start by working on it. Let me ask you this, real quick before you start. You want this to be private one-on-one, or would you prefer the seniors here?
No.
Okay.
No,
Would you prefer another captain here? Flex?
No.
Okay.
You guys are my shift. You're my people. And I'm Flop and Barrick I've chewed their ear off about certain things, both of them. And
Poor Forte.
I think
He's
how do I word this?
You can tell he's all choked
There's
up.
a lot of can I just speak freely, sir?
Go for it.
There's a lot of big dicking going around. There's a lot of swinging, and for no good reason, I would believe. There's a lot of rank flexing. Officer to PPO in particular.
Not the right time for that.
Skeleton shift to
Not the right
PPO.
time for that.
Skeleton shift to PPO.
Yeah, the officers, officer rank
God.
2 PPOs.
So specifically shift 2.
No, shift 1.
You ever do something and then immediately
Okay.
regret it?
I've had nothing but pretty negative experiences with most of the officers on shift 1. Except for like 2. And I don't know if it's because I like to take the job, with a grain of salt, try to keep spirits up. I feel like they come in with a demeanor that is textbook, lack of better terms, I guess. I feel there needs to be a fluidity. You have to be able to turn it on and off, which I've worked on personally. Being more agile with reading the room and reading the situations. I did struggle with that at first, 'cause I try to portray myself as a silly guy because it seems to come down to I might just straight up de-escalate a whole situation just by cracking a joke. Shift 1 does not see that in any way, shape, or form. Even attack, it's not a choice to do that.
That's a good way of putting it.
I feel like there just needs to be more. Just. I tend to stay away from shift 1 in general. I've only heard just terrible things. I've only felt terrible things. And Blackwell, for example, I saw her come on duty, and I said, "Hey, how you doing? Good morning." She went, "Oh, I really don't want to go on duty." I was like, "What the hell? You all right?" And she was like, "No, it's terrible working here." I was like, "Why?"
Damn.
It's just I love my job, but I hate the people. Holy shit. My God. So I pushed her to talk to somebody, and hopefully she did. Not too sure. But.
Okay. Give me some examples and names
Aldo.
tied to those situations.
Oh, he said it. Oh, he said it.
Aldo.
Oh, he said it.
I'm not too happy with him being pushed to captain when Ruby was fully there. But that's not my decision. That's just my personal opinion, sir.
Oof.
And what are the reasons behind Aldo? Your reasoning behind your take.
Speak
on
your
Aldo.
shit.
For example, I think
Speak your shit.
You, captain, as a old school, right? You have very old school tendencies. You have we agree. I personally agree on a lot of the things you preach. I'd say Aldo's older school, in a sense, is that he's.
Oh man!
If it ain't textbook, it's wrong, and I'm gonna reprimand you and call you out by rank. If, for example, let's talk about it. I guess it's the elephant in the room. It's this whole vomit situation that it's been hanging over my head since it happened. It seems like everything got taken out of context, and And like, I just respectfully said no. And then he started swinging. You gonna talk to me like that? I've never even met the guy before that very moment. Didn't even know who he was. And it just put a sour taste in my mouth with him. Like, I was just like, man, you couldn't even introduce yourself before you started down talking me. Like, at least let me know who you are before you rank flex on me like that. Like, it didn't come off right from him. And hell, it might just him being like, you know, doing whatever he does. It might just be the way he is. But I didn't agree with it.
Okay. Hypothetical question: if you knew who he was and knew his rank, would that have changed the outcome of the situation?
After, you know, I believe so, because I would have given different ways to go about it rather than, because personally I was a paramedic before I did any of this, before I went into law, and I've had a friend who lost his vision cleaning up biohazard that was vomit. As crazy as it sounds. And I stand firmly on that. We're not trained to deal with it, and we have no protective clothing that is given to us in any way, shape, or form except gloves. And I would have probably just been like, okay, sir, why not this? I'll pay a cleaner to come clean it. Could that work? We'd take it to a cleaner. Let's have a different outcome to this rather than, you know, whatever's going on.
So looking for solutions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't even know who he was. I mean, but now I do, obviously. I will respect him to his rank. I'm a firm believer of the chain of command. And I respect it diligently. And just hearing him just chirping from behind me, suddenly I was like, who could this be? You know? Could have been anybody. But yeah, looking for solutions was where I would have went with it. I'd be like, sir, with all due respect, we could pay someone to do this who does this for a living. Like, cleans these sort of messes. Or if I would have been like, do you know if we have any protective gear upstairs? I'll go put it on and help. You know.
Okay. Have you tried to have a conversation with him about it, one-on-one?
I've said hello to him in the hallways here and there, but he doesn't respond. Doesn't even say hi to me.
Okay. Would you be interested in having a conversation one-on-one with him, or with a mediated conversation to sort this out?
I
should say it's sorted, but more or less,
if it's sorted,
so we can move past it.
Yeah, I plan on just trying to get to know him, whether he likes it or not. So, just like professionally, of course. Like, I always say hi to him. He can respond if he likes. But at the end of the day, I would still jump in front of a bullet for him. He's my brother. Allegedly, because I don't want to get charged. He wears a badge just as I do. I'm personally, I don't, if it is sorted on everybody else's end, I'm personally sorted. I'm just going to try to, get to know him a little bit better professionally. I think that might be the best way possible. I don't know. I don't know shit about him. Just know he's my superior.
All right. Were there any other situations with him involving him?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there anybody else in shift 1 that makes you feel this way?
Viv.
I was hoping he was gonna bring this up.
Vivian Gray.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you explain that to me?
We had an altercation where I think I said like a joke out of pocket. She doesn't know. She doesn't know me. I after thinking about all of it, I think it was just a big, huge miscommunication. So, I plan on doing the exact same thing with her as I want to with Aldo, but she just said some, not colorful things about PPOs undermining officers, and it kind of put it also a sour taste.
What did she say?
And I quote, "I'm sick of all these PPOs undermining all these officers." And I apologized immediately because that was my intention. And
Could I ask a clarifying question too? Turner, if you have something in the middle, feel free. But the conversation that happened after, was there an opportunity for you guys to, I guess, speak to each other?
I was going to pull for a chat, but she pulled me before I got to it. We had a little back and forth, it seemed. After talking with Alice in regards to that situation, I think Viv's reaction to me was I was very blunt and kind of stoic in a way, taking the information. But that's just kind of how I am. I can be extremely blunt and when I need to be. And I think I have a tendency to maybe be too blunt. So I'm working on that currently as well. Try to be more taken, earful before I speak. But I don't think Viv had any bad intentions. I think she was just a bit heated from the whole situation, of course. If I didn't have enough context of a situation and like just thinking it from my shoes, if let's say like I had somebody it felt like somebody undermined me, yeah, I'd be pissed. But you just gotta roll with it, and I think she was just still a little heated after everything. So
okay,
I think she means well, but I plan on just trying to get to know her a little bit better as well.
And what was the situation this was tying to about the one where you offered to pay to frisk someone as a joke?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I understand all the wrong things with that.
I'm not going to go into that. I just want to make sure we're this stem from the situation I'm understanding of.
Yes, sir.
I don't have to go into that one with you.
No, I've been talked to
I
about
want a bagel so badly.
Is there anything else from Vivian Gray's side? And may not look like it here. I am taking some notes here on my phone. Just holding behind my back here, okay?
No, yeah, I totally get you.
I'm taking notes because these need to be addressed, but I'll figure out the route to address these, right? But this is good. I do appreciate you bringing this to our attention, and we are gonna work on them. So, is there any other officers on shift 1?
Nothing I can personally attest to or have seen, but I've heard things, and it all surrounds Derolo.
Okay.
The things I've heard, that would be hearsay, though. That's not.
Here's what I'd like. Me. Who'd you hear them from, so we can go to them if you'd be comfortable stating their names?
Aziz.
Okay.
He's I would say one of my closer friends on and off duty.
I'm really glad Forte's bringing this all up.
He
this
thinks
is
she's
really
out for blood.
I think it's best we don't go into depth on that. I think
sure.
I think we talk directly to him, so it's not this.
Yeah,
this
Aziz for sure.
Telephone, right?
Absolutely.
So we can bring that up with him to see what his opinion is. And
hey, I'm in the middle of a meeting with the captains. What's
do
going on?
you need food? I might see your buns.
Oh, I would love a meal actually. Yeah, that would be great.
Anybody got anything?
I can ask real quick. Give me 1 second.
Aldo is.
I'm here. Might as well. At least you're not getting stabbed.
I guess you could say.
We'll do.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's a good assessment.
Quick question.
Ray.
Not to interfere. I'm so sorry.
The best way that I've always been able to describe it is
Eric,
a militaristic personality.
Hang on, Barrick, 1 second.
I
don't know if you hear.
No, you're good.
Say it with your chest, man.
Someone's at Senior Buns right now asking if anybody would like food. Would you guys like any food?
Hell no.
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to. I didn't want to hold them on the phone. These damn doors.
No, nobody.
Nope, nobody. I will take a
Just
meal though.
you.
I'll take a burger and
Well,
some fries. When they ask what I want on it, run it through the garden.
You're such an idiot, man.
Run it
Honestly,
through the
I'm gonna go.
garden.
Is your dad around? Your father figure?
Yeah. My father figure is around.
Okay, all right. I'll call him. I'll see if he wants anything. All right, I'll be down at Mission Row in. Give me 10 minutes, right?
Thanks, not Dad. I love you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
9 times out of 10, it is going to check out. I don't know much about him, but I do know that, he was in the military. So that's just kind of how it is.
Okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt before. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're all right.
I did have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Turner, could you clarify the anonymous question that was asked earlier in the AMA?
I can.
Oh, I sent my question in as well, just for paper trail. I put my name on it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I do see that now. Yeah. When will Shift 1 officers stop trying to put down / find any excuses to reprimand Shift 3 officers during Shift 3?
So, I asked you to repeat that because Forte, I'm asking you more from the stance that recently I have not been out on patrol as much as I would like to. Have you personally, if you're comfortable answering, heard or seen this happening?
I can tell you that wasn't me, even though that sounds like something I would say.
I didn't think it was you. I was just more, yeah.
Personally, I guess from my perspective, all the hot water that I've been slightly in have been from Shift 1 issues with Shift 3. Kind of like the roll in. So in that regard, yes. But it seems like that person, whoever put that in, might have something bigger on the plate. I'm trying to think of who it could be or situations that it could be.
Oh, my ears are killing me. Holy.
I apologize here. I need to step away for just 1 moment.
You are all good.
Okay.
Just to clarify, the reason that I asked the question is because I'm more looking at our small group of patrol.
Yeah, who could it be?
Not even
why?
Not even who could it be. I just want to know who from Shift 1 it could be. Considering we are on the topic of, the bleed over of concern from Shift 1 into, Shift 3, I'd love to know maybe a little bit more context to it. Because maybe I'm mistaken. I'm maybe a little more unaware of this happening. And I feel like if somebody were to know something, it would be helpful.
I think it might be Maisie.
It's possible.
Sounds like something she would say.
It's possible. I mean, I would love to
I'd talk to her. I would.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would like to, and I hope she's comfortable coming to maybe someone in Shift 3 to talk about it if that was her. I'm not gonna have you answer if you know it was her or not unless you're comfortable with that.
I have no idea.
Okay,
Her and me
okay.
are colleagues at this point. And that's it. So she hasn't really spoken to me
Colleagues?
a whole much. Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we broke up. Yeah.
Oh,